Hello everyone. Hello everyone. This paper explored the competition and cooperation relationship between financial technology and commercial banks. The first is introduction. The number of Internet users has reached 854 million in China in 2020. Internet finance is not only the integration of the traditional financial industry and the Internet, but also meets the financial business needs of a large number of customers. Deposits decreased by 950.2 RMB billion, and the balance of deposits grew slowly in 2015. Internet finance can improve financial service innovation capabilities, reduce commercial bank operating costs, and improve efficiency. Commercial banks provide financial technology with a large number of customers, data, and financial support. The first subject is the difference between financial technology and commercial banks. Internet finance uses search engines, big data, social networks, and cloud computing technology to provide financial service, which greatly reduce the information asymmetry of the Internet financial market. Compared with Internet finance, traditional financial institutions have insufficient information collection and processing capabilities. Internet finance and traditional finance have different payment methods. Traditional finance is a physical channel of payment, and the Internet finance is the unification of a centralized payment system and personal mobile payment. The second subject is the impact of fintech on commercial banks. Internet finance takes up a large number of online customer resources, which reduces the original customer resources of traditional banks and improves operation risks. Internet finance promotes the marketization of interest risk, which increases the risk of bank reputation and non-performing assets of commercial banks. Commercial banks have low product yields and slow withdrawals, which reduce the income of intermediary service. The third subject is fintech promotes the development of commercial banks. Traditional commercial banks use the credit review system developed by big data technology to evaluate the credit of customers, which can solve the problem of information asymmetry between borrowers and lenders. Financial technology can reduce the management fee and the capital cost of commercial banks. It optimizes the pyramid structure of commercial banks and promotes the diversification of commercial banking business. Internet finance will not replace traditional banks. It can promote banking innovation and improve the efficiency of the banking financial system. The competitive game analysis of fintech and commercial banks constructs the hoteling model of differentiation competition between fintech and correctly analyze their equilibrium decisions. First is game zero analysis of financial technology and commercial banks dominated by competition. Set the price, cost, market share, and profit of products provided by commercial banks and financial technology compared to customers as P, C, Q, pi. Assume that the unit cost of the product provided by the commercial bank is C1, and the unit cost of financial technology product is C2 equals 0. Assume that the total demand of customer is 1. The value of commercial banks and financial technology companies providing products are U1 and U2 respectively. The total unit of commercial banks and financial technology companies is U0. Utility losses are recorded as Q1 X1 and Q2 X2 respectively. X1 and X2 are the united losses of commercial banks and financial technology companies' products. The market share of traditional banks is K1. The market share of companies is 0. Customers who choose commercial banks can obtain additional utility, which is U alpha. U alpha is the external advantage coefficient. In the first stage of the market share is K1. The first stage of the market share is K1 at the Q1 at the Q2 equal 1. The second stage is market stability game. So as the market external coefficient of commercial banks increases, the equilibrium price, market shares, and profits of commercial banks show an upward trend. In contrast, the equilibrium price, market share, and profits of financial technology companies are showing a downward trend. It shows that financial technology companies need relatively low market prices to obtain a certain market share. It shows that the innovative technology of financial technology enterprises positively affects their equilibrium price, equilibrium market shares, and equilibrium profits, while it has a negative influence on the equilibrium price, equilibrium market shares, and the equilibrium profits of commercial banks. When the restriction coefficient of commercial banks on fintech companies increases, the equilibrium price, equilibrium market share, and equilibrium profits of commercial banks will rise, while the equilibrium price of fintech companies rise, but the equilibrium market share and the equilibrium profits will fall. The second is a game theory analysis of financial technology and commercial banks dominated by cooperation. Assume R1 is the cost of borrowing funds of internet finance. Suppose the price of the cooperative product is P, the market size is Q, and the demand function is Q equal A minus BP. Assume that the deposit interest rate is R2. The deposit interest that needs to be paid to customers is R2Q. The unit marketing cost of products and services provided by financial technology companies is C1 and the initial investment is C0. So we can get the perfect functions of financial technology and commercial banks are respectively. So we can get that when the distribution ratio E is equal to 0, the profit of fintech companies is the largest and the profit of commercial banks is the smallest. On the contrary, when the distribution ratio E is equal to 1, the profit of fintech company is smallest and the profit of commercial banks is the largest. Findings. In the first stage of the game, it is more important for financial technology companies to obtain a certain market share than to obtain profits. The market share of fintech companies has an inverse relationship with the inherent market size of commercial banks. The larger the inherent market size of a commercial bank, the more difficult it is for fintech companies to increase their market share. Findings. The cooperation between them can eliminate the losses caused by interest rate competition, reduce the unit cost of products and services, and reduce the initial investment of financial technology companies to maximize overall profits. When the distribution ratio E is equal to 1, the total profit of financial technology and commercial banks is maximized. Fintech companies have the lowest profits and commercial banks have the highest profits. When the distribution ratio is equal to 0, the total profit of financial technology and commercial banks is the smallest. Fintech companies have the highest profits and commercial banks have the lowest profits. Discussion. The cooperation between commercial banks and financial technology companies can optimize the financial service of commercial banks. Traditional banks can use platforms and big data technology to quickly discover customer needs and build the financial service. The cooperation between commercial banks and financial technology companies can quickly obtain a large number of data resources, which helps commercial banks develop financial products and financial service. Okay, thank you.